those low refinancing rates are looking mighty awesome. But should you do it? Welcome back, everybody. Such a pleasure to be back. My name is Alex Beltran, and I talk about real estate tricks, tips, and topics. So, if you want the latest on everything real estate related, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Karate chop that little bell so, keep up to date. It's interesting how there's been a little bit of a delay in funding real estate purchases. I was talking to my preferred lender because we were trying to fund a loan in time so that we can close before the weekend. However, we ended up closing on Monday instead. Which isn't that big of a deal, it happens. However, it hasn't happened to me in a while. I ended up asking the lender, what gives? And he basically said there's so many people that are trying to refinance their homes right now that the banks are backed up with refinancing applications. Although I know that banks are a necessary evil, with mortgage rates falling to new lows, right now is not the best time for banks because they make smaller margins. However, if you're looking to buy or refinance your home, right now is the perfect time to do so. I always like to remind people that banks are not your friends. They don't have a fiduciary duty to look out for your best interest. They're strictly looking to make as much money off of you as possible. And right now, with interest rates being so low, it's the perfect time for banks to make that sweet, sweet cheddar by sneaking in some fat fees. So, should you refinance? If so, how? Great question, viewer. I'm gonna answer that for you. Let's hit the basics first. What is a refinance? Well, it's basically getting a new loan with different terms. Let's say you purchased a new home a few years ago when interest rates were higher for $200,000. 30-year term at 4.5% interest rate. You're roughly paying about $1,000 a month and $365,000 throughout the term of the entire loan. And now for the sake of simplicity, let's say you haven't paid off a dime of that loan and you still owe $200,000. Today. So you can refinance for that $200,000 30-year term, but now you get a 3% interest rate. Quick side note, interest rates are bouncing all over the place. Depending on when you watch this video, interest rates might have changed by then. Your new monthly payment is now roughly $850 a month, and now you're paying $304,000 for the entire term of the loan, which means that you're saving $150 per month and $61,000 throughout the entire term of the loan, just in time for that midlife crisis Corvette purchase. There are generally three ways that people refinance. A refinance that will save you lots of money in the long run, a refinance that will save you money on your monthly payment, or a refinance that will leave you with a lot of cash on hand to spend on VIP tickets at Panic at the Disco concerts. All these are dependent on your current situation. If you want to save money in the long term, basically get out of debt as soon as humanly possible, then you're going to want to refinance the smallest amount possible with the lowest interest rate possible. And now here's the secret sauce. Going back to the previous equation, your original mortgage was $1,000 a month. Your new refinance mortgage is $850 a month. But instead of paying your new lower payment, you keep paying the $1,000 as if you never refinanced at all. That additional $150 will go directly into paying off your principal. So instead of paying off your mortgage in 30 years, you're gonna pay off your mortgage in 25 and a half years, respectively. And it would actually be sooner than that because we haven't taken into account how much you've already paid off the original mortgage and how much you'd be saving on interest and all that jazz. So theoretically speaking, you can pay off that loan even sooner than that 25 years. Now, if you're refinancing because this pandemic has screwed up your cash flow and you need those smaller mortgage payments, then do the same thing as before, but instead of paying that $1,000 a month, pay that minimum $850 a month. Keep the additional $150 in your pocket for whatever you may need. Now, if you're looking to get the most amount of cash out of this refinance to add extra cushion during these hard times, buy a Corvette C8 or use that money to invest or start a new business, that Corvette C8 looks sick! Take my money! Then what you're gonna wanna do is get a cash out refinance. So instead of refinancing $200,000, you refinance for $275,000. $200,000 goes to paying off your original loan, and $75,000 gets to go into your pocket. Ready for this? Tax free. Yeah, boy! Now, pump the brakes. I know that this deal sounds amazing. However, this type of refinance comes with the most amount of risks and is also a cash cow for banks. Chances are that they're gonna try to push you into this type of refinance because that new Corvette C8 looks really nice, doesn't it? Imagine pulling up to a Panic at the Disco concert in that new Corvette C8. Woo! You're pulling out a loan for more than what the property is worth. And if you need a move or a pandemic hits and you can't make the monthly payments, you're gonna be severely underwater and will either have to short sale or write a check to the bank upon closing for the difference, leaving you with no equity. And that's gotcha. All right, great. You talk too much. How do we refinance already? I don't talk too much. You're gonna wanna shop around to get the lowest rate possible. I'm gonna go ahead and save you some time and say, Wells Fargo. Even if they have the lowest rate, do not use Wells Fargo. I wouldn't recommend them to my worst enemy. I wouldn't recommend Wells Fargo to Wells Fargo. Sorry, I digress. Wells Fargo, trust me. Shop around and make sure that you're working with reputable banks, which immediately disqualifies Wells Fargo. Make sure that you always look at what you're paying for. You will have to pay fees. There's no way around that. Banking is a business, and it's only fair that they charge for their services. By comparing the different banks, you'll be able to compare their fees as well. My general rule of thumb is to always compare 3 different banks. Always, always, always check the fine print. Like I mentioned earlier, banks are not your friend. They don't have a fiduciary duty to you. Make sure that whatever path you take, it works for you. I know I was joking about buying that Corvette C8, and look, if that's really what you want, then go for it. Your money, your choice. But buying a depreciating asset, leveraging your home as collateral, not exactly what I would call a good investment. If you want to take that money out to start a new business or use that money to invest in something with better returns, because using refinance money has much better interest rates than other types of loans, then by all means, just always weigh out the pros and the cons. Time travel is real on YouTube. Hello, future Alex here. So I recorded this video before this new COVID tax came out. Basically, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae just announced a new tax of 0.05% COVID tax on all refinances. If you go off the median home price in America, which is $230,000, that's $1,150, which is basically a reverse stimulus check. We can complain all we want, I don't like it, but it's the latest fee that we have to pay in order to refinance our home. Gotcha. Which brings me to the question of the day. Are you refinancing your home? Why or why not? Go ahead and comment in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you found this video informative or entertaining, go ahead and smash that like button, please, and thank you. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to keep up to date with everything that I'm doing in real estate, go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram. If you want to watch some more of my real estate related content, I'm going to go ahead and link them here and here. Other than that, catch you guys next week. Peace.